Well, we're back at it again at the 2010 Pete RV hauler. Going to be working on the back end of it this time, working on the hitch. Um, right now, it's a beautiful day out here. Should be playing outside, but we got to get some inside stuff done too. So you can see beautiful weather. It's finally cooled down a little bit, which is a great thing. So got to get back to work here. I'll bring you inside and show you what we got going on the RV hauler today. What we've got is doing some work on the hitch itself. As I mentioned in previous videos, this is a prototype hitch assembly that we are working on, along with the bed itself. It's a prototype for us. So I've got the hitch off of there, the hitch unbolted, and I'm going to slide that out of there and show you the modifications that I'm going to work on today. Well, what we got going on is I am taking the hitch out of here, the whole hitch assembly right here. I got the shocks off of there. I was just running a little bit tight, and I got all the bolts off the side. There's 4 or 5/8 bolts that go along the side, and then I can pull this out of here. I took the mat off the bat that covers this back end up, keeps some of the grime out of there, and I also pulled off the fifth wheel plate on there. That's just a single bolt or a single pin that goes down through the center, and it's a real nice setup here, made by there was a name on here somewhere. I think it's on the other side there. It's Kurt's 30,000 pound unit. It flexes both directions and takes some of the wiggle, or puts a little bit of wiggle and give into when you're hauling on the back because of the suspension. On a big RV hauler like this, it's a little tighter than your 1-ton pickup truck. How this thing is put together, give you a little bit of the insight here. We've got our arms in the back, and then we've got 3 airbags inside of here that float this up. We've got 3.5 inches worth of travel on this head assembly, which includes the fifth wheel hitch, and we've got the gooseneck ball, and we've got a pintle hitch, and we've got our bumper pull set up. So it's what we call our multi hitch. So it does a little bit of everything here, just to so you get a better ride on your trailer and you're not tearing them up with these big units. And to get this off of here, I just simply put a strap into here, and I've got it set up and the bolts pulled out. And for service work on here, it's a matter of pulling the bolts out of here and grabbing a hold of this unit and pulling it out with probably 2 hands. So I'm going to have to set you down and get this slid out of here. But back to the real reason we're taking this out of here is I need to move this back 10 inches farther than where it was set in there. Right now is about where I want it to set. Before, it was tucked up inside, and I was just running a little too tight when we had a bumper pull on there, turning corners. So that's one reason why I'm disassembling and taking this back out, is to move it back. And it's an easy system setup to move back, because I've got a series of holes on the side here, so it's just a matter of sliding it back and just repinning and bolting it. But another big reason why I'm taking this off of here is last time I had this out, when I had a bumper pull on there, this ball had all the weight on it, which added leverage and pulled down. In this center section right here that slides up and down was can't see it right now, but this center section here slides up and down, and this stays solid. Once we get it all put back together, I'll show you and put some air to it and show you how the whole thing operates. But back to the big reason is this whole center section here was just leaning a little bit. So, oh, Taz is coming out here to help me. He's back in the videos. Usually this is winter work for Taz and me out here. But, so I've got to add another airbag into the system and lift this end up for the bumper pulls on here. And I will show you the modifications that I made and all the bracketry and retrofit that I came up with, and the guys at the shop put it all together for me. So let me put you down, and I will get this head out of here and get this flipped upside down. Well, I'll get this pulled out of here. I think I got you set up where you can see what I'm doing here. So you can see this whole head assembly or hitch assembly comes out of here. If you've ever got a service or do any major maintenance on it, which there should be very little of it, but it's very easy to take out of here. And here's where you can see the center section moving up and down. Right now it's in the down position. When we put air to it, this is the section, the center section, like I was trying to show you, that comes up here. You can see it articulating in the back and comes up. And that's the amount of travel that we have that the airbags are set at, so that you're not tearing your trailer up behind there. Well, let's get this thing flipped over and show you what we're going to do for mods on the bottom. Well, we got it rolled over. I'll show you what we're putting on here. Well, these are the parts that are going on there. These are some modification parts, and like I said on the next one, these parts are all going to get built into here. Well, these are the modification parts that we're putting in here. What I've got is made up a arm, but first of all we've got a swivel on here, and this is all going to come together and make sense to you in a little bit here. So we've got this, we've got our arm that fits on here, and we just get a bolt in here temporarily to hold this. That's going to be our swivel point right at this location right here. So that's going to be the swivel. This end, there's a wheel that is going to ride right down here, and what that's going to do is going to push pressure up on the hitch. The head of the hitch is going to put a little bit of extra help up there to move it. And in the back here, here's where the other airbag comes into play. This airbag here is going to be mounted down inside on the bottom, and we've got a bracket for the airbag that I'll show you that, and then we got an airbag mount here. And like I said, these are all things that I drew up in Autodesk Inventor and burned it out on the table and the guys at the shop put all these together, burned them out, assembled them, welded them, put a coat of paint on there, and we should be all set here. Like I said, this all works on the computer. We don't know how it's going to work in the real world, but we got to start somewhere. So let me get you in here a little closer and show you what we got. So this is the arm right here going all the way through. Here's our pivot point down here that I've got to weld these ears down onto this tube here. And what's going to happen is the airbag mounts on this bracket, and this bracket is going to be mounted on the bottom side of that tube in there, and then this airbag is going to fit on that bracket, and this is all going to go underneath there. So when we put air to it, what it's going to do, it is going to lift this end up, and it's going to hold that hitch in place. May have to do a little bit of fine tuning or adjusting on here, and possibly do a little work on the arm here, but like I said, I got to start someplace with getting this load figured out. That way I can feel a little more comfortable leveling out the weight distribution on this hitch here a little bit. So I'll get you back when I get things all tacked up here.
Good thing we got the old backup horse.
Yeah, everybody's all riding and I'm working. So got Stephanie over there on her pony. We got Rachel out there, and Lynn on her big horse.
Hello, Alan.
Well, hello. And I've got to head back in the garage, and they're going on a trail ride. I will catch them tomorrow. I'm going for a ride though. Back to work for me. Well, everybody's all riding. I better make the best of it and get this project done here. So what I'm going to do is get the flux core welder out, weld this up. What I've been doing lately, quite a while anyways, is put a fan on here to suck the fumes away from me. So I either put the respirator on or put the fan on. So it's going to get a little noisy here, so I don't know if you're going to be able to hear me or not. Well, we got her all welded up here. Welded it up with flux core wire. It's an OS 71 M wire, and that's what I use for this. Well, we got the front pivot on there. I got get my aluminum plates out of there. That's just so that I didn't get any sparks down in the airbags. Now I got to move towards the back and put the airbag mount on there. So I took the bolts out of the airbag right here, and this is the bracket that I came up with to mount the airbag that's going to sit on top of here. And this bracket, if I did all my math right, and it fit on the computer, that fits right in here, and then I just simply put the bolts back into here, bolt the airbag back on there, and get a weld there, and one on the back side, and the airbag's going to fit into here, and this is going to be the lever that's going to go from here, pivot point, to the roller, and that is how we are going to get transfer lift all the way to the front end with an airbag in the back, is with a arm, and it's going to be a multiplier, so it's going to be a 2-to-1 leverage on there. So we're really going to get some extra power out of this bag here to hold that head up. It's sort of hard to visualize right now. Everything's upside down, but once I get it flipped back over, it'll make a little bit more sense to you. Well, we're back at it. I've got the arm in here. This fills up with air on this end here, goes through here, and pushes down. Right now there's no air in there, but this will push down, and this is going to be pretty much ride height. Like I said, it's upside down right now. It's a little hard to visualize this. Once I flip it over, you'll see what I got, but everything fit in there nice. And this will be on the future units. This will all have this extra kicker in here. It shouldn't be a problem hanging down too low, because the actual hitch portion here is going to be hanging lower on the truck, so we shouldn't have a clearance problem. If so, I'll have to do some redesigning. I'll bring you back once I get this flipped over and installed. But before I do that, I got to do a little work down on the airbags down here. On this unit here, I put originally an axle comes with 2 airbags. To soften the ride out, put 4 airbags back here, and I can turn the pressure down, because typically you run 2 airbags at about 120 pounds. I can run 4 airbags at about 65 pounds, and it seems to hold the truck up where it needs to be, and it's just a real smooth ride in there. But I got to put some shocks on the outside and a few other things on here, so I'll bring you back once I get this this end all set up and get this thing back on the road. Well, it's ready to go back in. Got the extra airbag put on there, and the arm and the roller, and so we got the roller right there coming around. This is the arm going all the way back, and the airbag. And so once you put a little air in it, it'll give some lift to that front and add a little more capacity to this hitch here. So there's the airbag in there. Everything is set up with a leveler valve right here. It raises everything up to hold at a right height. And as long as I had this out, I put an extra set of shocks on the back here. As I mentioned before, factory, this truck came with the 2 front airbags. I added 2 airbags. The guys at the shop made a mount up. And then what I did is added some shocks on there. I added a shock right there and a shock mount on the side of the frame there. I drilled some holes in there, put that in there. So that does a couple things. It does helps with stabilizing it, and also when you dump the air out of here, it bottoms out on the shock and not on the airbag. So that was one of the main goals of what we were after, adding that extra shock on there. So I will get that hitch slid in here and clean up my mess. Always messes. Bring you back when I got her all put in and cleaned up, and I'll show you how it goes up. Well, I've got the multi-hitch adjusted in here. We pulled it back 10 inches and we made the modifications on the bottom. Let me show you how to drop this hitch down. What I've got set up in here is, and this is just a prototype setup, I've got to clean this up a little bit. But I've got one regulator for the airbag, and I've got another one for the hitch. So I just, and right now I got the hitch set at about 90 pounds. Airbags are set at about 60 for ride height going down the road, which is really smooths the ride out compared to factory. They're set at about 120 when these with these trucks. But we're not hauling a heavy load right now. We're running mostly empty. So I've got a valve in the back. I flip this valve shut, and then I've got a dump, a manual dump valve hooked on a cable on the inside, and I just let the air out of this unit to bring it down. You can see that as it's sitting there, you can see the whole hitch dropping down. I'm letting the air out of it, and that way you can drive up over the top of the unit here when you're setting it up or loading up a vehicle on top of here. So that's how much travel that you have in this multi-hitch going down the road. And let me go put some air to it, and we'll get that thing to rise up, and then I'll show you what else we got going on here. But before we go over there, I've got this arm that goes all the way up here. We showed you that before, and the airbag in the back. So let me set you up here, and we will get that, show you how that arm works once we put air into the system here. So you can see that the airbag is fully extended now right here, and I've only got light air pressure in there, but then what that does is that transfers and it helps raise this up. Along with what I showed you before, is there's two other airbags on the inside here, or three other airbags in here. There's two in the front and there's one in the back. So you got a total of 4 airbags. Each one of those airbags are good for approximately 3,500 pounds of lift on there. So one thing I don't have set up on here yet is, I'm not done with this. There's a shock that bolts between here and here. I've got to get that in there yet, and then I'm done. So that's our multi-hitch set up on there. On other videos we'll show you how we got it set up with on the gooseneck trailers, bumper pull trailers, to show you how it all operates and how it rides. Well, there goes the Pete. He's taking it around to the side there. Yeah, it's a real nice setup, the concept. Well, we've got the Peterbilt hooked up to the flatbed. Just to show you another option what this RV hauler can do for you. We've got the couple of Jeeps on the back. We got a mud truck, and it's all set up with the air hitch on there. And Justin is just pulling into the yard there. So there's plenty of clearance for turning on there. So yeah, this is a RV hauler. Thank you for watching Alan's Day. Life is about making choices. Some things are already perfect. Some things you may choose to upgrade. This channel will show you both. Please like, subscribe, and share. Thanks again.